So several people have asked me how to prepare odor for class. So I'm going to put together this quick video just to show you what I do. This is my personal methodology. There's not really any method to the madness. It's just what I've done for the past few years and what seems to work fine for me. So you're going to see two different approaches. The first approach is a jar that's already come with Q-tips in it. What we're going to do today is anise, so I want to make sure I label the top of my jar. You'll notice too that I'm wearing gloves. These are obviously just plain old dish gloves. You can buy disposable gloves, whatever you want to buy. But you do want to make sure you wear gloves, of course, because what you don't want to do is get oil on your fingers and then walk around your house and touch things and or either contaminate your house or devalue the odor. The other thing you'll notice is that the odor kit here is sitting on several stacks of paper towels, which are also disposable. So when I'm done with what I'm doing, I'm going to dispose everything in this area so that I don't accidentally, again, devalue my odor or contaminate my search area. So, because we already have Q-tips in this jar, I'm going to do this just a little bit differently than I normally would. So we've got, of course, anise right here. I'm going to unscrew the top of the anise. Now, I'm going to suck up some anise in my little dropper here. I am going to go to the side of the jar. I'm going to do one there. I'm going to go over here, one there, and one over here, one there. And 3 drops is all I do. It appears to be plenty. Have not had a problem with any of our dogs not understanding the odor. I'm going to do a little shaky, like this. And now my anise is prepared. I'm then going to put my anise back into my odor box so that it is not, again, contaminating other surfaces. In my opinion, once I have stuck an eyedropper into this anise container, it stays there. The reason is because if I can't keep my eyedroppers separate and I'm not 100% sure which one I've used in which odor, whoops, what I could end up doing is accidentally using the one I used in my clove in my anise, or my birch in my anise, and now I'm crossing odors and mixing things. And while that's fine, at one point in your training, that may not be what you need to do straight out. And you certainly want to be able to have better control of your quality of product. So, the second one we're going to do is a little bit different. So I've got just a regular old mason jar right here. You can buy different sizes of mason jars. This is a standard size mason jar. I got them on clearance at a dollar store, so I bought those. I actually prefer them. They come smaller. They come about this high, but I haven't been able to find them lately, so I don't have any. So again, I'm going to do an anise. That's what we're working with today. I'm going to open my anise. I'm going to draw up the odor. And I'm just going to run 1, 2, 3. Because this is a little bit of a bigger jar, I'm going to do 4, 5. Okay, and that's it. I'm not dumping a ton in there. Now I'm going to come over here to these Q-tips. These are clean. I cut these myself. You'll notice they are in varying lengths. Some of them are not cut at all. The ones that are not cut at all are ones I might use in a straw. I need different lengths for different containers and different searches. So I don't cut all mine the same length. I do different things with them so that I can use them in different ways. These are clean. They are just standard cotton Q-tips. I'm going to open them up. I'm going to carefully, if you lose a couple, it's no big deal. Dump them in my jar. There we go. Now this also is now disposable because I have touched it, so I can't put clean Q-tips back in it. You know, I hate that fact that it's a little bit wasteful because I just use a Ziploc bag and I got to throw it out, but really I don't really have another use for it off the top of my head. So once I have done that, I'm going to take my gloves off because I've touched the odor, right? I'm going to turn my gloves inside out like this, and I'm also going to lay them on the disposable area. Now these gloves I only use for odor. These are a little expensive. I would advise you to buy just regular old surgical gloves. You can usually get them at like a CVS or something for like $3. You can also buy them at Home Depot. They have them now disposable for painting and things like that. So this is my anise label. Make sure you can see this one. Whoops, wait a minute. Everything's reversed. Okay. So you'll see that I wrote on the top of it anise. I also write the month and the year that I started it. I just like to do that for myself. I like to use different aged odors, newer, older, things like that. But it also helps me remember what I'm doing. So I'm going to now put the lid on, not touching anything inside the jar. It's really important that your hands stay clean. And I'm going to do the swirl and the shake. I call the swirl and the shake and the swirl and the shake. Okay, so now that odor is going to sit. I don't use odor. Sometimes I will use it if it's 24 hours. I like to let it sit for a few days. But again, you want your odor to be old and new, different aged odor. You don't want it always to be the same. You want to put as much different in your training as possible. So sometimes they'll sit for a little while, for a day or so. Sometimes they'll sit. I've got one out in my garage. My clove has been sitting there for 6 months. I haven't opened it in 6 months. So you can do it however you want to do it. But I do recommend differently Q-tips, just so that way, if I have a straw, I can use it differently. Or if I have a small tin, a big tin, a centrifuge, whatever I'm doing. I don't want to have to cut my Q-tips up once they're already in odor. Just more of a possibility of making a contamination issue present. There are some great kits on the market. Obviously, the founders of NACSW have some wonderful kits, and you can skip all this and just order from them. I go through a lot of odor with classes and stuff, so I've gotten to where I order from them, but I also have to make my own in addition. So I know some of you had asked me how I do that, and this is how I do it. I do keep my jars separate in a closed airtight container, just so my dogs don't get into it without me training, and there's no cross-contamination issue. So now that I'm done, I would close up my odor kit. I would put my jar here, this one, my big anise jar, in a safe airtight location, and I'm going to throw out all of my other materials in a closed garbage bag. It's going to go straight into my garbage. So that is how we mix odor. If you have any questions, you guys know how to reach me.